How Nigeria can be great is what I'm talking to you about today. Today is October 1, 2022, and Nigeria is 62 years old today. Many people are saying that Nigeria is great, some are saying it's not great. Many Nigerians in recent time are traveling out of Nigeria. The rate of Nigerians traveling out of Nigeria today is unprecedented. It has never happened like that in the time past. So how can Nigeria become great? Many Nigerians have lost hope in Nigeria. I've spoken to Nigerians on the street, to Nigerians inside the house, everywhere, at work, and they are saying that things are somewhat. So how can Nigeria be great? Why am I doing this video? Is it that I'm going to go and make Nigeria to become great? By doing this video, I'm contributing my own quota to make Nigeria great. And the reason why I'm doing this video is that you that are watching me, or another person that is going to see this video, may find him or herself in the position of leadership in Nigeria, may become the head of state of Nigeria, may become the president of Nigeria tomorrow. This video can find its way through to Buhari. It can find its way through to the next person that will become president in 2023 and thereafter. It can find its way to some governors. It can find its way to people who are going to become leaders in Nigeria presently and in the future. It can find its way to the present leaders that we have in Nigeria. It can find its way to future leaders. As you are watching this video today, you are a potential leader of Nigeria. And let me tell you something about leadership. Leadership can be from everywhere. As I'm doing this video, I'm providing a kind of leadership. And you that you are also doing the video, watching the video, take what I've said and how Nigeria can be great and start implementing it. Everybody seeing this video starting to implement what can make Nigeria great. Gradually is going to spread, and then we'll have a great Nigeria. You can see the clothes I'm wearing is having a touch of green, and you have a touch of white, because the color of Nigeria is green, white, green. Happy independence to every Nigerian. Now, back to the subject matter of how can Nigeria become great. I'm going to give some reasons, some ways, and some examples. And this video is part A or part 1 of how Nigeria can become great, because I don't want my videos to be too long, because when videos become too long, people begin to lose interest. Now, straight to the point. Number one way Nigeria can become great is that no Nigerian should have property outside of Nigeria. No Nigerian should have property outside of Nigeria. No Nigerian should have property, talking about house outside of Nigeria. We've heard of some people in Nigeria, politicians, rich men, wealthy men, they have houses in Dubai. They have houses in the United Kingdom. They have houses in the United States of America. They have houses in different parts of the world. What it caused them to put up these structures, if they put up those structures in Nigeria, is going to contribute to the economy of Nigeria. Let me cite some examples for you. If such a house is perhaps built in Nigeria, they will buy the land, they will pay for it. The person that they buy the land from is going to benefit from the sales of the land. They are going to get a contractor, a building contractor, or a civil engineer who is going to construct the house. The civil engineer and those linked with him are going to eat from it. They are going to benefit. He's going to employ, the civil engineer is not going to do it alone. Electrical engineers, plumbers, welders, and what have you. So many people are going to work to construct the building, the mighty edifice, and that is going to make wealth to spread to Nigerians and not abroad. Another way is that if peradventure the house is bought directly from another person that owns it, if they buy such a house, instead of having it abroad, they have it in Nigeria, if they buy it, the person that they bought the house from is going to become, they are going to empower him. Maybe you want to sell the house to go into another investment. That is going to create empowerment for the individual and those around him, and wealth is going to spread in Nigeria. Number two thing that Nigerians can do that will make them to become Nigeria to become great is that no Nigerian should have businesses or investments outside of Nigeria. Every business or investment that Nigerians have should be in Nigeria. You see, when you have a business outside of Nigeria, when you have an investment outside of Nigeria, it's people that are in that country that are going to be the major beneficiaries of that investment or of that business. Let me give you an example. If you cite a company, let's say for example, Dangote, Dangote Sugar, you cite it somewhere in Nigeria, or Dangote Cement, and then you are going to employ some people, you are going to get the land. The people, you are going to employ workers to work with you in different sections of the work, and people will be coming in and going out, coming in and going out in the business, in the factory, in the company, or in the investment that Dangote has started. What happens is that by so doing, the land, the area where the factory is, or where the company is, or where the business is, there are going to be commercial activities going on, because people that are working there are going to eat. Some people will be around outside the gates, or around just not far from the factory or from the company, ready to sell food. People in that company need to wear clothes. Some people will station around ready to sell clothes for them. People in that company that are coming to work there need to cook food at home. Some people will come with raw food around where the company is, and on and on and on and on. Hospitals will be built around, because people working in that company need to be taking good health. So all these are going to contribute to the economy. And the people working in the place, people in the vicinity will have work to do. They come to work, they go back. Transporters are going to have work to do, because they have people to bring to work, people to take back home. This is another way that Nigerians can make it. It's going to be a bit difficult for any leader, any president, or any person to do, but this is the way to go if Nigeria is going to become what it ought to be. All people that have investment out of Nigeria, they should stop the investment and bring every investment back home to Nigeria. And then that is the way Nigeria can also become great, because it's the greatest of the people in Nigeria. That means the greatness of Nigeria. If Nigerians have enough work to do and they have everything that they need to have, things are going to become better. Recently, some companies, at a computer company I know at Ikeja, moved to Ghana so many years ago. Another one moved to Ghana, another one moved to Ghana, another one moved to Ghana. Why? Because there's power supply. So the third thing Nigeria can do to become great is that they must have regular and adequate power supply. The power supply in Nigeria must be adequate. The power supply in Nigeria must be regular. The power supply in Nigeria must be something that is regular, that is not up and down, on and off. It should be on at every time, 24 hours. I traveled to Ghana for a workshop some years ago. And the company that I was working with then, they sent me to Ghana for the workshop. And I was there for 4 to 5 days. And I stayed in the hotel. The mechanical generator was there in the hotel, but it was covered with nylon. Throughout, the generator did not work. I moved from the bigger hotel to a smaller hotel because I wanted to save money. In that place too, they didn't take the light. I was watching, I was looking. What is going on? What is going on? You see, regular power supply ensures that factories run and they ought to run. You are sure that when you want to use power to do any productive activity, the power supply is there. Those people who are using generating sets and other generating sets, they can attest to the amount of money they use to buy generating sets, to maintain it, and the amount of money spent on fuel. If there's regular power supply, the amount that they are spending on those things that cost will not be there to affect their business. Now, another thing that Nigeria can do to become great is that we should stop importation of any kind of goods. We should stop the importation of any kind of goods. We should ban importation of all kind of goods. Any goods, whether big, whether small, whether medium, whether high or low, we should stop importing. We should start producing. Anything we cannot produce, that means we should not have it. Anything we want to have, we should begin to produce it. By so doing, Nigeria is going to become great. You see, there's a country called Malaysia. A friend of mine, distant friend, we were chatting online, and he said Malaysia has its own car that they made for Malaysia, made in Malaysia, is a car, and maybe 1 or 2 brands like that. Nigeria can also do this. There's nothing that stops Nigeria from doing this. So if Nigeria is going to become great, Nigeria must ban importation of every kind of product, whether it is big product or it is small product. Anything we cannot produce, we should stop using it. By so doing, our economy is going to become booming, because everybody will start thinking and we start going to production. We start going to production because there's need for these people who can't go to produce it. If Nigerians can become patriotic and obey the leader that makes this policy, and not that they'll be shouting and shouting, And when a leader said he bans, or he said nobody should import, it's not that leader will go and be importing, no. It's not that leader will be taking imported things, no. The leader is the one that should show the example. If anything, the ones that have come in, you leave them, but no more new ones coming in, so that we begin to produce. We begin to produce within even the country everything that we need. By the time we begin to produce everything that we need and we ban importation, what happened is that the dollar to naira, the naira have been plunging, have been going down, and been going up. The disparity between the naira and the dollar is getting wider and wider and wider and wider and wider. I just hope it's not going to be as wide as the way I put my hand. Previously, it was like this, 115. I knew when it was 115. 120, 125, 130, 140, 145, 150 naira to $1. I knew that time. 155 to $1, 160. Then it went to 170, 180, 190. It stayed at 190 to between 190 and 195 for a long time to 197. Then after a while, it just took off. 200, 220, 230, 240, 250, 260 to $1. It went to 300. We were saying, it's not going to go. It went to 300, it crossed it, and to 400, and kept going. What about in the parallel market? His own is also doing his own. In the official market, naira to dollar today is 1,400 to $1. This is because we import virtually everything that we have to use in Nigeria. So if a government can come into Nigeria and say, no more importation, everything that we need, anything that you need that you don't have in Nigeria, that means you don't need it. Nigerians are going to sit up. Nigerians are going to sit up. You now see ingenuity. And then the government should pump out money for people. You should give out grants for people who can take ideas and convert it to products. Then you are going to start seeing things happening. This was how it happened in the advanced country. It happened in France. It happened in Japan. I was told that in Japan, they did not have fuel. And they said, okay, since we don't have fuel, let's produce car. And if we don't have fuel, we are importing fuel into our nation. If we depend so much on fuel from other places, and then the vehicles are using is consuming so much fuel, what you can do is to produce vehicles that will not consume so much fuel, so that we can conserve fuel. That was how they came up with Toyota and some other brands. In many places in the world today, and in Nigeria and many other developing countries, Toyota is reigning. It is durable. It is this. It is that. It is that. And that is what they're using in Japan, because they produce it. And because they don't have fuel, they produce something that will help them to conserve what they don't have. They must use what they don't have, but they should not use so much of what they don't have. And that was how they made it. So Nigeria should also do something like this, and that is how we are going to make it. I'm going to stop here for the part 1 of how Nigeria can become great. In the next video, I'm going to go to part 2. I will look at this daily until I exhaust, or I put a pause to this before I resume my other videos on my channel. Actually, most of the videos I do on my channel is geared towards the direction, just that it's not mentioning Nigeria per se. But because today is October 1, 2022, I have to make this video. Please share this video until you reach the leaders in Nigeria. Share this video to every youth so that they can know what they ought to know. Share this video to everyone in politics and the people who are not in politics. Share this video with the politicians and with the non-politicians. Together, we can make Nigeria great. Nigeria is our country. We have no other country except Nigeria. Let us make Nigeria great again, and Nigeria is going to be great again. I'm going to see you in the part 2 of this video, and part 2 is just around the corner, just after this one. Let's go.